instructor at the College of DuPage. So I'm here to be your presenter. You'll see me this evening and then tomorrow morning to kick off our bright and early morning. I will be hosting MC tomorrow. Today we have a great opportunity to learn a lot from our presenter, Mr. Wang. He is here to tell us more about, he's from KP Education, and this is his 6th year here at the summit, and he is going to tell us more about bringing technology into the classrooms. I have students that are career changers that love the paper and pencil, and I have students who bring their tablet and want to know, why do we need a paper and pencil? So we're really going to enjoy this opportunity to learn how to bring technology and be able to share more with our students so they can interact in the classroom and outside. So it's a great honor that we are here to see Mr. Wang today. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Now, those of you who braved the Chicago snows here, anybody here from Chicago? Raise your hand. So only a few. So anybody here from areas that are used to this type of weather? Those who are not, raise your hand. Like me, Phoenix, Arizona, land of dirt and golf courses. So thank you very much for braving this weather and making it to this pre-conference session today. So with that introduction, what we're here to talk about is social network and mobile technology in education. This will be a multimedia blitz through various things. This is like a primary course. Anybody here attended my any sessions that I've done before in the past? So a few of you at this particular session or other sessions? Other sessions, okay. So we're going to be covering a smorgasbord of information here. So sit back, don't relax because it won't be relaxing, and we're going to go on this wild ride. So we're going to talk about the social network and social network in education. The movie, last year, Social Network came out and really brought to light a lot of what that entire network is all about. So with that introduction, I'm going to do another introduction here by Ed Merlot. Anybody here know Ed Merlot, past president of ACTE? So I'm going to start out with my most embarrassing moment here. This was speaking to 5,000 teachers at the ACT National Conference, and you'll see. Oh, is the mic on? The regular. Oh, you. Yeah, I'm going to need the regular mic on during the podium mic because I'll be running the audio. Unless you have a line in for this. You have a line in for this. Well, let's just do this for right now. I have a few. I'm going to be using a lot of videos throughout this. Oh yeah, and my teaching method is using a lot of multimedia, so keep it really. Is it on? Okay, cool. Back here. Yay, AV glitches. No?
Response to this morning's speaker, whom I know you're going to enjoy. Indulge me for just a minute, please. Welcome the founder and president of KP Education Systems, Wang.
with that, I like to share that little moment because that was my first time really ever in front of a large group of audience of over like 50. So I went from 50 to 5,000. I practiced for a week on that speech, and then I'm up there going, "Why is everyone laughing at me?" And but the thing is, it was a very nice moment because one of the things I wanted to share is that, like, I wasn't really the academic or the scholar kid. I created everything and I did everything through technology because education couldn't fulfill my needs. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a little bit about me. Oh, cool, we got some FENI Twitters going on. We're going to be going over that. I'm going to be showing you some of that here in a minute. So a little bit about me, just kind of give you a little bit of background as to where I came from, so you can kind of see and gauge how I came to be where I am today. So first off, I was made in Taiwan. There we go. I was made there, freshly exported after I ripened at the tender age of 2 to Phoenix, Arizona, where I eventually grew up and became me. So I'm also English as a second language student. I spoke natively Chinese, although I can't really do that much anymore, and then I had to go through speech classes. So as you can see, I have a lot of Chinese accents in my dialogue. The speech classes did work really well. I was highly introverted. I kept to myself. I didn't raise my hand when I had a question, and I was very shy, if you can believe that. I was also ADHD, but not diagnosed. Now this is the difference, is that growing up, I grew up in a Chinese restaurant, and we were at poverty levels, so to speak. So we didn't really have money to be able to take care of all these medical needs. So I was never diagnosed, which is a good thing, because the way I see it, I took that disadvantage and I turned it into my advantage. Now, by not limiting my brain, I can focus on multiple things at once. And it's utterly crazy, actually, if you look at how I have my data-like structures spread. So with that gave me the advantage growing up, where right now, all the kids are growing up within that environment and modality too. I was also a computer nerd. Computers were my friends. They were the ones that talked to me, and I talked back to them. And that was the way that I expressed myself. I was also functionally illiterate. I went through all of high school, if you can believe this, without reading a single novel. Not a novel. I read textbooks, but barely, because there was something wrong with me. I couldn't digest words on a piece of paper. But I made it through, thank goodness. And my parents forced me through college, and here I am. And the last thing is, I was a teacher's nightmare. I slept in class, I didn't pay attention, I didn't have thought. I was just kind of out there. I was, daydreaming, thinking about the next video game and things like that I want to play, and really not there at school. But I was still there because another part of my brain was paying attention. So that's the thing, So here we are talking about the social network. The world is connected. And so is education and should be education. Now you're all here today to try to figure out how you can incorporate some of these tools. Now we're going to be going through a lot of these tools. We're going to be implementing a few of them because at this FENI conference, we're also running a little contest to see how people are using it. Because the way I see it is like, I can tell you about all these things until you're blue in the face, not until you actually do it. And we're making it so that you'll be doing it at the conference and seeing the results. Last year, we made a little experiment, tried it out, and it was really good. People had fun, people shared, and we created that social network for FENI 11. So here we're going to be creating 12, and we're going to amp it up. So the world is connected through social media because it applies to students today. Now this is important because this is the world that they live in. I'm going to turn this on. Now, how does it apply to education? Now, in education, people are just barely touching and glimmering into the tools. Now, people have been using blogs, there's people trying to use Twitter, effectively in class, and there's a lot of people who are trying these various things and getting really, really good results. But like I said earlier, we're going to apply it here at FENI so that you'll be participating, you'll be tweeting about your good moments, your not so good moments here at FENI. It's like it's all about creating that online social dialogue. Here we go. This person just tweeted. So right now I've got a live Twitter feed because part of this is we're going to be tweeting. I'll be going over that, but FENI hashtag 12. We'll also be using mobile technology. Mobile technology has boomed in the past 2-3 years. Ever since the iPhone came out, that whole entire landscape has changed. The BlackBerry, the BlackBerry, whatever you want to call it, it had spark, but it really never went mainstream until now. So we're going to learn how to Twitter. We're also going to learn how to wiki, because we have a wiki site here set up so you could also participate in that. We're going to learn the Facebook. And actually, in case anybody's wondering, this is really cool. I have the feed going onto my iPad too. So I'm actually, instead of my computer there, I can walk around like this. Now we're going to learn about Google Plus. Because I like being mobile. I don't like standing or sitting behind a lectern or something like that. Using Foursquare. Anybody here use Foursquare? Okay, so okay. Actually, let's go back. Anybody here use Google Plus? One, okay. Anybody here use Facebook? Okay, a few more. Because a lot of people are resisting. Wikis in your wikis in school or not in school, just like wikis in general. Not much at all, okay? And Twitter. Anybody here use Twitter? Okay, a few of you. So this is a very introductory course. All right, and then LinkedIn. Now LinkedIn, I should see more hands. LinkedIn? Oh, come on, more hands. LinkedIn is very important because it's a professional network, and that's something that every educator or working professional should be a part of. Any other class? All right, so enough of me talking. Let's watch this cool video on the social media revolution. Oh, I forgot. I had to change the audio feed. Just give me a second. There we go. I'm good. Let me check audio. I'm also an AD person, so I could. You should be having audio now. according to that video, there's like, it's startling and it's constantly evolving. Like every year they update that video and like, those figures change dramatically. At that time, when I first looked at the video back in 2009, there were only like 3 million Facebook users. Now, I don't even know what the current number is now, like, like 10 million or more. So, anybody feel this way about technology?
Ma, calm down. Listen to me. I know it says click with the mouse, but on a laptop, the trackpad is the mouse. Now, put your finger on it. It doesn't matter which finger. Good choice. Now, move it down to your email icon. The little envelope. What do you mean, what does it look like? It looks like an envelope. Fine, you don't like the computer? Don't use it. Sure, we can exchange it for a salad spinner. Goodbye.
I love Big Bang Theory. Anybody here watch this show? Yeah. It's so entertaining watching geeks be geeks. Hey, look, somebody got their first tweet up there. Congratulations, your first tweeter. Woo! Awesome. Okay, so we're going to talk about a little bit about the evolution of technology. What did I do with my mouse? I said something. Oh, it's up here. That's why I can't see it. So do you like monkeying around the internet? We got to think about the events in the past 200 years. Like, how much has the internet evolved in the past 200 years? So this is just a quick snapshot of how communication has changed since the beginning. In 105 BC, the Chinese, not beeps, invented paper. And so on and so forth, printing press, Pony Express. You can see how, like, all the way down to, like, broadcast television, pagers. Then the internet was born in 1994. So you got to think of it like internet. It's only been around for just a little bit over 10 years, right? Or 20 years, sorry. My math is off today. But, like, and then we went to texting, instant messaging, Facebook, Twitter, and then we talk about news feeds. Pretty overwhelming, isn't it? I mean, it's just so rapid. Just in your lifetime alone, you've seen so many rapid changes. How do we stay up with it? And one thing I really want to expound upon is that technology is magical. Since the iPad came out, it's really transformed a lot of education. I'm going to be spending a lot more time talking about this tomorrow, this very subject tomorrow during the education module. But I just want to kind of touch on it. Here, this is an artist called David Casson, and he used the iPad to create original works of art. If you can believe it, he's hand sketched that using his finger on one of those devices. It's absolutely amazing because you couldn't do that with a mouse interface before. So it's just how people are reacting to it and how people are taking these new tools of technology and reinventing the way we do things. Absolutely beautiful. Mobile technology. What does it mean to you? Is it a ball and chain shackling you to work? Anybody here feel that way about mobile technology having, or the other way around, which it gives you the freedom to do things anytime and anywhere? Yes? All right, yeah. Because that's the way that kids feel about that, is that that's the way that the technology in their pockets allows them to do. Freedom from the classroom, so that they can spend more and better time in the classroom. So we're going to talk a little about Twitter right now. So I understand that only one person here is on Twitter. So we want to get Twitter started here at FENI. So this is the great Twitter experiment. So about Twitter.
Let's begin. Show of hands. Who here is familiar with the concept of topological insulators? Kid yourselves.
I found another tweet from a student at Sheldon's lecture. Dr. Cooper has taken a relatively boring subject and managed to make it completely insufferable. Plus, he looks like a giant insect.
Listen to this one. Does Einstein's theory explain why time flies when you're having fun, but when you're listening to Dr. Cooper, it falls out of the sky dead?
Oh, somebody took pictures and uploaded them to their Flickr account.
Oh, wow. How do you get an entire lecture hall to flip you off at the same time?
Apparently, if you're shouting, all you need to do is turn your back.
So as you can see, Twitter is really a way to create real-time dialogue, not one-to-one or group-to-group, but you and the world. So here, a lot of people feel this way. Twitter is the worst between narcissism, ADHD, and stalking. Because a lot of people feel that way. What is Twitter? Do you tweet about the bagel you ate today? Do you tweet about your daily movements? Or do you tweet about facts and figures? But the thing is, Twitter is what you make it out to be. And a lot of people professionally have made it out into a wonderful communication source. They use it to create this global dialogue, and they network together through that global dialogue. Here's another funny video.
And now, another download episode of The Real Housewives of Sim City.
She needs to reset. I'll say it to her face.
No wonder traditional media is dead. Check out this webisode of Hypnotoad.
Enjoy your outdated format, Grandpa. Nowadays, cool kids like me mash up our own phone-isode.
It's from the kidnappers. My nephew is alive, and he's in this envelope.
They got all one of my dimensions!
No.
No! Oh my God! It's Bender! He'll save us!
What's happening to me? Is it puberty?
It's a phone call, dingus.
These iPhones are phones too?
Yeah!
Rilo?
Hi, Fry. Did you know these iPhones are phones too?
Duh. Hey, is it safe to talk while you're flying?
Oh, totally. This thing's hands-free. That's how I can eat this taco. And this spaghetti. I'm hanging up now.
Hey, check out this internet video of some idiot.
So as you can see,
spaceship.
this is kind of illustrate what the world that kids are living in now. That it's instantaneous. It's live. And they just instantly react to things without having to wait
That reminds me. It's time to twit my
time
hourly twat
to be able to do things.
Sup, followers? Fry here. Bourbon eggs.
Now this is what you don't use Twitter for.
Looking for love. Zen.
All right. So this is the world that the students are living in. They're in this rapidly changing world where things are updating, things are being discussed in a global manner. Now this is an instructional video. It's a really great video made by a company called Plain English.
So, what are you doing?
So this
It's one of the first questions we often ask friends and family. Even if the answer is just mowing the lawn or cooking dinner, it's interesting to us. It makes us feel connected and a part of each other's lives. Unfortunately, most of our day-to-day lives are hidden from people that care. Of course, we have email and blogs and phones to keep us connected, but you wouldn't send an email to a friend and tell them you're having coffee. Your friend doesn't need to know that. But what about people that want to know about the little things that happen in your life? Real life happens between blog posts and emails, and now there's a way to share. This is Twitter in plain English. Thanks to Twitter, it's possible to share short, bite-sized updates about your life and follow the updates of people that matter to you via the web. Here's how it works. Meet Carla. She's addicted to her mobile phone, reads blogs every day, and has contacts all over the world. She heard about Twitter and was skeptical. After some of her friends couldn't stop talking about it, she gave it a try. She signed up for free and saw that Twitter pages look a little like blogs with very short posts. Each page is personal and has updates from friends. She got started by looking up her friends on Twitter.com. After finding a few, she clicked follow to start seeing their updates on her Twitter page. Within hours, she began to see a different side of people she chose to follow. She didn't know that Steven in Seattle was a baseball fan, or that Julia in London was reading a new investment book. The little messages from Twitter painted a picture of her friends, family, and coworkers that she'd never seen before. It was the real world. Soon, she became a fan of Twitter and posted updates every day. Her friends followed her updates and learned that she recently discovered a passion for Van Halen. They could see Carla's life between blog posts and emails. For Carla, Twitter worked because it was simple. The updates were always short, under 140 characters. Plus, she could post updates and follow her friends using the Twitter website, software on her browser, a mobile phone, or instant messages. By asking members to answer the question, "What are you doing?" Carla found that Twitter brought her closer to people that matter to her, 140 characters at a time. Find out what your friends are doing at twitter.com. I'm Leela Fever, and this has been Twitter in Plain English.
So that was a little, basically a little primer about Twitter. Now, it is all about creating that dialogue. And even though that video was made back in 2008, like light years ago, when it comes to technology, it's still the same. It hasn't changed. Anybody know why it's 144 character limit? Anybody care to speculate? Huh? That's a good guess. Yeah, it's actually utilizing the text messaging limits for sending a text message with some data code. So originally it was meant to be a text messaging service to go onto the internet, so they limited that, and basically it's stuck. So what does it mean to you here at FENI? Well, what we're doing is we're running this little contest from now through Sunday morning at the breakfast. So we got today, tomorrow, and then Sunday morning. So the contest is basically to participate. Now when you participate, if you post a message to, if you tweet anything, you want to tweet it using hash code FENI12. Now the hash code is in case anybody really wanted to know, is an old school BBS, if you know BBS back then, protocols to determine rooms of conversation. So Twitter is using it to basically use to filter searches so that anybody who's using that and anybody who's following that code can see that. And actually, I know a bunch of people who were at FENI last year who are following us this year. So they're going to be following our Twitter feed during this conference and kind of being here virtually, which is kind of cool, exciting, and nerdy at the same time. When you use Twitter, you tweet hashtag FENI12. Now, those of you, anybody here bring cell phones or anything like that? I see an iPad out there. So you can go ahead and participate right now. All you need to do is download the Twitter app and go to twitter.com. You need to sign up with an account, which is really simple because all you do is submit an email, create a password, and then you're right in. So with that noise there, we can see there's Twitter feed, Twitter tweeting going on. So yeah, I see it over there. So 144 characters. So this is one example of a tweet. So you tweet that, like, I'm really enjoying the social media education workshop by Kai Wang. Oops, I put FENI 11 on there. So that's actually supposed to say FENI 12. So that's one version of a tweet. Just type that in and then it gets put out there. Another one, the chocolate workshop is amazing. I learned so much. So this is something that you can put out there saying you really enjoyed a class that you took, or you met some really interesting people, or had a really great conversation or dialogue. So you put that out there, and then people who are following, they can see what's going on, and then you can go back and look through other conversations and kind of virtually stalk, I guess is the best way to put it. Here's another tweet, RT, which stands for retweet. Retweet is basically somebody says something really cool you want to share with some other people, so you retweet. So that you're basically twittering someone else's tweet to kind of perpetuate the conversation. W00TGR8FTF So you can see this is what we call leet speak, or internet speak. So this is something that you hate your students to do, but this is the reason why they're doing it, because they're limited to 144 characters. So I have to come up with creative ways to create a conversation in limited character space. LOL. Okay. This This is a cool video about a teacher who actually used Twitter to a professor.
I had heard of Twitter. I was not familiar with it, but I knew that it was out there. I knew that it was a way that you could use both computer website and text messaging to post comments. I started to think about how I might be able to incorporate this into the actual classroom setting in my big group of 90 students as a way to pull more students into a class discussion.
If anybody needs help setting up a Twitter account, raise your hand, because I can help you with that.
It's been really exciting because usually in classes like this, you'll have 3 people that talk about the discussion material, and so to actually have 30 or 40 people at a time talking about it is really interesting. And then I can go back through the weekend and send them direct messages and ask them to probe kind of further and really think about the material they've been reading.
I'm really impressed with all of your posts today. You guys did a great job. I did want to bring us back and talk about what some of the most useful things are that you either saw go up here or things that you talked about in discussion, the posts, or what you read.
Kids are able to get out.
Gosh, my video playback is just horrendous, so actually I'll just play the video from the folder. UT Dallas.
That's usually in classes like this, you'll 30 or 40 people at a time talking about it is really interesting. And then I can go back through the weekend and send them direct messages and ask them to probe kind of further and really think about the material that they've been reading.
I'm really impressed with all of your posts today. You guys did a great job. I did want to bring us back and talk about what some of the most useful things are that you either saw go up here or things that you talked about in discussion, the posts, or what you read.
Kids are able to get outside of their comfort zones. They're not having to worry about speaking in front of 200 people, 100 people, however many people are in the class. So I think it really helps.
It actually gets the students incorporated into the class and makes them more enthralled, I guess, to get into what's going on and discuss things more.
People need to learn to get their feeling out somehow. And the class of 90 people trying to type up and be heard over everyone else can be a little intimidating, but here all you have to do is type it out, hit enter, or send it from your phone, and your opinion's up there for everyone to read.
How you guys doing?
Gradually losing faith in humanity.
You're gradually losing faith in humanity? All right, my work here is done.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're putting stuff that college students are paying for to learn out of the internet, and then college students are researching out of the internet for other people to find. And I'm really big on Wikipedia and the ability for you to find whatever you need to know on the internet, and for us to put more history knowledge out there through intelligent discussion is pretty cool.
The significant terms that we've talked about in our discussions, we'll tweet that. And so you can go back on it, and it's a pretty good study to look at what was most important with what we talked about that week.
What I've seen is that nearly everyone participates in some way, either in class on their computers or cell phones, or they do their handwritten comments and give them to the TA, and she posts them after class is over.
I don't have a laptop with me, so I'm using my phone.
If you got 50 minutes, you don't have time to call on every single student. So this allows, for a lot of information to get sent in quickly.
I think it's actually probably better this way because I know there's some kids where they want to have something to say, but they're a little bit shy or standoffish, so they don't always give it. So this gives a better opportunity for people to still express their views on what's going on and what's being discussed.
140 characters does limit the types of comments that they're able to make and the types of evidence and argument that they're able to make to back up their opinions. And there are some issues that we're discussing in class that do require a more in-depth approach to explaining one's position. But on the other hand, oftentimes there's a lot of miscellaneous information that students think they need to throw in that kind of muddle up the idea that they're trying to portray. So having to keep them limited to 140 characters does require students to get at the absolute kind of central point.
So I think it really forces them to focus.
I was traveling one week, and so the TA led the Twitter discussion in class, but while away in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I was able to log on to Twitter during our class period, during our class time, and follow the class discussion from another state. And as much as I could, I contributed as many comments as I could reacted to what I saw, the comments being posted on the Twitter board that week. My understanding is that students in class thought that was actually kind of cool. They thought that was pretty exciting, that even though I wasn't here, that I was still kind of participating in the class and giving them feedback on the types of things that they were saying. It was really useful for me too to kind of see how this works from afar. This is a very different format than your typical history discussion or history class format, and I had no idea how it was going to work. I think I remember saying, it's going to be messy, and I'm just going to have to come to grips with the fact that it's going to be messy, but messy doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be bad.
Alright, so you can see like, there's a lot of very creative uses for Twitter, and and one great example of Twitter in the classroom is is tweeting out assignments or something like that, or something that's an announcement, or having students communicate with themselves outside of your current discussion board. So I mean, there's a lot of resources out there on the internet. I don't want to belabor the point because we only have 1 hour and 15 minutes left. Okay. So anyway, people having fun here? Learning a lot so far? Dead audience? Hello. All right. So get signed up with Twitter. Oh, this code down here. If you have a device that requires internet, during this session we have access to the hotel's Wi-Fi. So if your internet's slow, then log into this Wi-Fi. So it's Kipton meeting, and then this is the code for today. That way, if you have a laptop, one of those old-fashioned doohickey thingies, you could get on Twitter that way too. So I see a lot of iPads out there. Really exciting. It wasn't that many iPads last year. I think there were like a handful. So one of the big contrasts I want to bring to light is the video game generation. For the teachers, they grew up with cultural icons such as Mickey Mouse, Smurfs, maybe not SpongeBob, but Felix the Cat. Those were your icons growing up. Those were the cartoons that you watched, and really interacted with. That's what I would call passive interaction. So you're sitting there, you're watching the television, and you're being entertained by these characters. Now, in today's generation, we have the PlayStation controller, which controls Mario, Link, Solid Snake, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, those are active icons. So, the difference between these people and these is that you're being entertained, whereas the students are controlling the destinies of these people. So, with that, students want control because they've been brought up that they can control Mario and make him jump into a pit, or jump on a Koopa, or break bricks. So that's the mentality that they have. They are used to working within roles and environments and making things happen. So that's the big transitional gap between the two different thought processes. So I had the pleasure of speaking with Ray McNulty just on this very subject this past few months. So I'm going to share this video with y'all.
So here I am backstage. Hey, Maniac, how you all doing? We're excited. I'm happy to be my idol. No, I'm not your idol. You're my idol now. You gotta be kidding me.
Anybody know who Ray McNulty here is? He is the president of the International Center for Leadership in Education. He and the CEO, Bill Daggett. Bill Daggett is probably the more predominant name, but they're really pushing rigor and relevance stuff into education, and really big proponents of career technical education because of that entire angle. So that's just a little backstory. So Ray McNulty is the president, and he was also the keynote speaker at ACT this past winter.
I mean, what you've been doing is just incredible. What you've been doing has been an inspiration to me and
script there, as you can see.
Yeah. That's a blind wing. The other one is a hooey ho. See you soon. See you soon. It's good. Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I love what you're doing because, honestly, I think we don't need to change the kids. We need to change what we're doing. These kids.
Oh, there's like videos flying out again.
Passions. We need educators to stop feeling like education is a routine. They communicate to the same thing every day.
Let's go back. So for some reason my video playing is up to snuff.
So here, exactly. That's the different challenge we face.
Got a lot of technical difficulties in the presentation, don't you? Does this ever happen to you?
No, you can't. And what they're giving our kids are late 19th century, early 20th century materials. They're giving them printed text.
Yeah.
And they're giving them 45-pound book bags. They're saying this is the burden of education. And I'm convinced that's not the future of our business.
Yeah.
And if we don't give them the right tools, we can't expect to get the right results.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm all about the idea. And I think when I look at what's happening in some of the fastest growing companies, they're using gaming technology to educate their kids.
Yes.
They're using digital images, all kinds of things. Multimedia, gesture-based computing.
Yeah.
They're excited. It's exciting.
Yeah.
You can put your boring lecture online. Let them watch it somewhere when they have time. But in class, it ought to be engaging and exciting. I think you can do it today. There's no excuse not to do it without what we have available.
Oh, especially with all the technology and the tools that we have available, but there still needs to be more. And that's the challenge. Yeah, there needs to be more. And the difficulty is there needs to be more focus on that. People are focusing on it.
And one of the things I'm going to talk about on stage today is the idea that we need to question what we do. Not find answers to a question like, why do we have these separate disciplines? Why? It's not like that outside of school. The only way, when you look at school is divided up. And it's an industrial model. It's not, we're continuing to do things we shouldn't be doing. And we have to stop. So we have to question more than solve. We have to ask tough questions. So I'm not talking to a group like Question Storm. This morning. See if we can figure out how to break through. Kind of like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, it'll be great. Thanks very much. Thank you. So here I am backstage. Hey, meeting.
Okay. First slide. Oh, there it is. So as you can see, that's one of the big focuses is bringing game theory, or we call it gamification of education, into the fold. And it's difficult because in the past it wasn't possible, but with technology, those leads are available now. Okay, so students interface through the PlayStation controller, so that's how they control their world. Keyboard and mouse, a computer, smartphones, iPads. It's because they understand their options. And you notice that textbooks aren't there in that list because it's not part of the world. Okay, here's another video. I know I use a lot of videos, right? This is let's see how this video plays.
Okay, we're going to stick this in here, and then I'm going to pour in the milk. I hope this works because I didn't bring a change of pants.
Look, I googled it. It's a fake kitchen. That's it. No cake for you. Anyone else want to join the no cake club?
So,
just kidding, boys and girls.
Let's just illustrate. That's the world that they're used to. They need information. They got it right here. They need to look something up. They got it right here. They don't need to wait for it anymore. It's right there. Kids are, it's amazing. I have friends with 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and they're interacting with iPhones like they're born with it. And they don't know what they're doing, but they're interacting with it. And some of them actually send out Facebook and actually posted a message on their parents' phone. not actually coherent messages, they didn't say goo goo gaga, but they just kind of, but you know, it's incredible because that's what they're growing up with. All right, I'm not going to be doing the poll, it's going to take too much time. So, anybody here use student response systems such as clickers and things like that? There's a service called Poll Everywhere, which is a really awesome service. It's free for under 30 participants, where basically people can tweet or message, and then you could do a survey live on the spot, and you can actually change the values. Yes? What was it called again? It's called Poll Everywhere. It's a really awesome service. It's free for under 30 users, meaning that if you have a classroom of 30, you can have everyone participate by texting or tweeting or logging into a website, and they can participate in a live poll where the graph moves up and down, and then you can see how people interact. Like you could ask a question like the previous question was, do you use a student response system? And you know, they would say no a lot probably. So you can see the graph go. It's really cool way to get some responses. And once you're familiar with it, you can get responses pretty quickly within a couple minutes. It's updated live. So Poll Everywhere. If you need more than 30, then you have to pay for it. So it's not that bad. All right, so I'm going to spend a few minutes about the why. I'm not going to spend too much time because everyone already knows why. But you know, there's a really cool study out there called Speak Up. And basically, the website's called projecttomorrow.org. And it's got really hard data. Every year they survey, you know, innumerable amounts of students, teachers, administrators, people in education, and they find out, like, you know, what they're doing, and they map these trends. So they've been doing this for a decade. So they saw how, like, you know, technology and cell phones were like this. Now it's like, you know, becoming more predominant. And basically what it's saying is that students of all ages and demographics tell us year after year that the lack of sophisticated use of emerging technology in schools is, in fact, holding back their education and disengaging them from learning. Thus, from the 2009 survey. So if you're looking for like really, I mean, it's a great read too because it's got some really awesome data on that. So what I sum it up to be is like we need to speak their language. Okay.
So I stopped on the way to work.
So I just want to throw this in there because like they're talking about the iPhone 4S and you know and how exciting it is, you know, because you know iPhone mania.
What's your hurry, cowboy? Savor the moment.
It becomes a part of their lives. And I'm sure it has become a part of your life. I mean, just speak to every iPad.
Hello? Hello? What's your name?
My name is Siri.
Look at that. There's finally a woman in your life you can talk to. Are you single?
I don't have a marital status, if
So-
that's what you're asking.
Anybody here use Siri right now?
We hardly know each other.
Like it, dislike it? Kind of
A cup of coffee.
So this is like the technology that's just emerging. Emerged like, you know, 4 months ago.
See you gentlemen later.
And you can only think that a year from now how that's going to advance.
Siri.
And this is how people are going to interact with their devices now. You know, if you remember like Star Trek, how they were talking to the computers. How ridiculous was that?
What am I doing? I'm talking with you.
It's becoming
beautiful voice.
More and more of a reality
It's nice to be appreciated.
day after day.
I bet it is. Why do women like me?
Let me check on that. How about a web search for why don't women like me?
No need worried on that. Siri, do you have a last name?
My name is Siri.
Oh, like Cher, Madonna, Adele. All the way down.
So I can see that the video starts to degrade after a certain time period.
My name is
Which is
Rajesh.
probably,
You can call me Raj.
probably telling me to hurry up.
She called you
real sexy.
From now on, I'll call you sexy, okay?
Okay, so
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, Siri can customize it. You can do that if you wanted to. But it's just amazing, that technology. It didn't really exist in the public 6 months ago. Although the technology has existed for the past 2 years at a university, which basically developed that technology. But it's incredible. So the only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Good old Albert Einstein. And I just want to throw this little interpretation up there. Okay, so anybody here, this is a very popular video by a university professor called Dr. Wesh. Actually, I'm going to show a very brief moment of it, but I guess I can. But it really kind of shows you how the students are thinking about it. I already see that video is great. All right, well, go ahead and if you want to YouTube it, it's a very wonderful video. It's by Dr. Wesh, W-E-S-C-H, and it's very inspirational too. It was created back in 2009, but still is relative today about how the students feel about education and how they interact with it. Okay, so students are free agent learners. Don't need to know that. They want to be untethered. So you've already gone over that. So let's just show you some hard data so that I'm not like making this up. They want to be digitally rich. So more data charts to make boring stuff, right? I'm going to, since the videos aren't working, I'm going to just go right into the this is talking about learning platforms.
Welcome to Silverwood Comprehensive. It's an ordinary school in an ordinary town, doing its best for some extraordinary students with outstanding teachers. They've just bought a brand new learning platform, and they're all a little bit confused. This is Mr. Spleen. Hello, Mr. Spleen.
Hello.
He's a geography teacher. He wants to know how the learning platform will help him to organize his and his students' work. This is Molly. Hello, Molly. She's a YA student. She wants to know how the learning platform will make doing her work easier and more fun. These are Molly's parents. Hello, Mum and Dad.
Hello.
Don't worry, Mr. Spleen. With the learning platform, Mr. Spleen can get organized. He can create all his lesson plans for his classes online. He can attach all his resources to the plans and then share them with all his colleagues. If he ever falls ill, then the lessons he has planned will be accessible at the touch of a button for the cover teacher. All this, and he can get access to his learning platform.
So anybody here currently employing learning platforms in your school or university? I mean, this isn't anything new, but like the transition process, was it smooth or was it pretty rocky? What's your opinion on it?
The interface they have is awful.
Awful interface. Yeah.
And the students hate it.
Oh yeah, and then that's my biggest beef with all those interfaces. Made by engineers for engineers. Okay, made by monkeys for monkeys. There we go. Yeah, and that's the biggest struggle with learning platforms. You got all this wonderful capability, and it's being bungled. So yeah.
Yeah, we've on the second generation using Moodle now.
Okay.
Moodle's awful. Yeah, better than Blackboard, but
Yeah,
still a lot.
Moodle is better than Blackboard, but I guess it's the lesser of two evils. I saw their hand come up or something like that. Yeah. No? Yes? No? Maybe? A little yawn? Okay. So yeah, I mean, learning platforms are the solution. And these are the things that that really speak and resonate to the students, because like, I really like this video here. This is a 3-minute video.
This is me and my family. I'm the one on the left. I'm going to show you a few things about who we are and what we do. We will focus on me. My name's Harry. I'm 11 years old and I'm in year 6. I want to be an astronaut. And that's my mum. She didn't have computers in school, but she's picking it up pretty fast now.
Hey Harry, it's vegetarian lasagna for lunch. Do you fancy that?
Okay. That's my dad. He's always travelling. He does something important. And boring.
Bye guys. See you Thursday.
See ya. Now, I want to show you this. This is my school. And as you can see, my school is cool.
Which way all kids can say that?
Our school uses computer technology in all kinds of ways. They call it ICT. The thing is, it's more than just computers. When my mum was in school, they had chalkboards. They were slow and messy and really just writing. Now, we have interactive whiteboards that you can write on or use as a computer. In the past, students had to sit on chairs all day long. Boring. On the Wii, we're doing brain training and fitness exercises. Researchers found that it improves concentration. Technology like voting systems are helping students participate in class better, which is good if you're shy, like I was. It's also helping teachers see how well we're doing. Digital cameras are bringing projects to life. Of course, we're using the internet too, for research and for visiting other places. It's amazing the doors it opens. Even kids without computers at home can check out these laptops. And another cool thing, my school's not just here. It's here too. I can log on and so can Mum. She likes it because it's secure. I can download my homework and upload it when I'm done. And when we went on our school trip, Mum didn't have to worry. She saw pictures that same night. And so did Dad. How cool is that? So, how did we get this done? Well, my mum's a parent governor and she encouraged our school to make technology a #1 priority. You can do it too.
Hey Harry, get back to work.
Okay, Mum. Sorry, I've got planets to explore. Signing off. Help bring the benefits of ICT to your child's classroom. Log on to next.
So, isn't that a really cool illustration of what school should be? And this is really what kids are expecting. Is it reality? In some places, yes. In many places, no. And it's just mind-boggling how we're all playing catch-up. Okay, so we're talking about youth. I'm going to get that. And kids want personalized learning. They want a personalized learning environment. They want to be able to personalize it. That's my personalized license plate. Everything's about personalization. Okay, so just the base facts of Speak Up. Nearly 100% of students want online textbooks. 93% of parents agree. 47% of teachers use no digital aids. Less than 20% use digital textbooks, and existing online resources do not meet the current demand. 9% of teachers are using online books in any meaningful way. Let's just talk about online books. And I have a big beef about online books too, if you read the article that has been circulating around. And anyway, that's a good point. I have this article. I passed it around earlier than this one, but I don't have it up here. But there's a 3-page article that I did, that I wrote up, and it's in second draft form. So I'm sharing with teachers here at the conference because I want to kind of get reactions and see, how real world or how grounded my thoughts are. So if you get a chance to read it, please do, and give me your opinions, your thoughts, and let me know, please. Okay, so that was just the video we just watched. All right, so anybody here, do we need to take a break? We're at the 1 hour and 7, well, actually we're at the 1 hour mark, so this is perfect. I'm right on time. All right. So next up, we're going to talk about like the future of learning, social media overview. We're going to talk about how we're going to use the wiki at the conference, Facebook, blogs, and many more other resources. So everyone still with me? Everyone still awake? Yeah. Got some good information so far at for the first introduction? Very good. So let's take a little 5-minute break. Please come back. I know that's one of the scary things yet. Go on break. Oh, bye. Because later I'm going to be passing out. I'm going to be passing out evaluation sheets, so you can tell me how well I do. Because I'm always working to improve my presentation skills. What's that? So that's what we're going to do. Not specific other things. Oh yeah. I've got to set up about your Twitter. That's fascinating how it's not. Yeah, I mean, I see the hashtag on it, but I've never seen anything like that. I mean, you. I don't really need to go to that. Set timer for 4 minutes. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not the demonstration. Because I've developed that technology. So just yeah, so I actually
I have a phone that is just a phone. I mean, that's all I use. I have students that use it for a phone, a timer, calculator, and online appreciate that. Well, especially. Yeah, I teach phone. So for her table, for all of class production, we've got 17 students. We only got one time on each other. So she was able to time everything for them.
It's with our government and what they get is to get out there. Most of the
I said post it there, and then they can come
for whatever reason, it seems to work well for us.
I don't think it's
Being a chef,
but what I do is I do it check. I can't download it. I'm like, okay. But it does save me, because usually first day of class, and then they want to check. But ours actually tells me how many downloads. And I'll say, you can get it. I say, because she's 15 out of 18 you download. So, we have students, you figure out which ones are telling you a tale, which ones are true. You can't.
So yeah, for whatever reason, it seems to work for us.
should be enabled.
Yeah, okay, so I mean, you guys are a little bit young.
Alright, my 5-minute alarm just went off, so everyone had a good break. And right now, what I'm doing is
and all of the students can go and see their stuff. So it's part of our bibliography. So it's always part of that class. So I'll be able to add to that. So putting stuff out instead of saying, well, this is like a hero. Because my math doesn't always my parents.
okay, you can now edit. Alright, so looking at the Twitter feed so far, we're getting some really good activity, people talking. Hey, my name is Mai. Alright. Oh, sorry. It's Nye, N-A-I. Although, some people spell it N-Y-E, like Bill Nye, the science guy.
How come mine aren't showing up?
That's very interesting. Oh, maybe it shouldn't be differentiating between capitals and lowercase. I hope, no, it shouldn't, because there's a capital. The internet, it boggles me sometimes. I don't know what's going on. No, yeah, I don't know why it's not showing up, but I'll try to figure that out. I'll call Twitter and see what the CEO says. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Go ahead, I'll Google and see why some of the hashtags aren't working for you. But I mean, it's working for a lot of you. Try putting the hashtag at the end instead of here, in the end here. Try that out. Okay, so moving on. All right, and we're back. So this is kind of like a vision of how I see the future of learning.
4/3 pi times the radius cubed.
Have you ever watched Star Trek?
6.
Yeah. So this is a video, a depiction of the planet Vulcan. Vulcans are supposed to be like highly intelligent, scientific race of
Dimensionality equals the logarithm divided by non-scalability and non-derived 4/3 pi times the radius. And it is morally praiseworthy, but not.
So this is their education pods. Now we'll never get to that level, but this is just kind of like imagery of how they're interacting with information to the extreme. Now this is another one. This is what I want to do with education.
Can you slide that thing?
Oh, it's all.
Not yet.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry.
So wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Just like, hey, I need to learn this. Well, actually, when you think about it, hey, I need to learn this. Instead of downloading it or down in here, you have it right here. So you think back 20 years to, and if you brought something forward just from 20 years ago, saying, hey, I need to learn this. Okay, well, we got to go down to the library, and we got to pull out the microfiche, and we got to do a little bit of research, and maybe like 2 weeks later, we'll find the answer. Compared to now, it's to them, they'll be like, wow, you just download that information, you have it right in your hands. So that's what I want. So this is a kind of like a video of our vision, or my vision, our vision with KP of, and actually since the video will probably play horribly, I'll play it in the other player. Let's see that. Hi, I'm Nat. I've supported education my entire life. Growing up in the Paradise Valley Unified School District, getting my degree at Arizona State University, and then later serving on the board of directors with the Phoenix Conservatory of Music and the Arizona Alliance for Arts Education. And I have devoted my entire life to the pursuit of further education and technology systems. I formed KP Education Systems with the dream of merging my two passions, education and technology. Because people ask me this all the time. Let's see here. In fact, one of the reasons why I did this session was because for the past year, I go to about 23, I would say 30 education-focused conferences every year. And everyone sees me walking around with my iPad with my head buried in it. And people ask me about how I use it, what I use it for. In 2005, I hired my very first employee, which was a major milestone. We began developing a system to make teaching easier and learning fun. Our first focus was in career technical education to bring students right into the workforce. What we built was culinary arts.
What class are you in?
Culinary. I feel like we have a very unique advantage here at KP. Most people have one or the other. They either have content or a platform. And here we have both. We've had the luxury of being able to mold our platform around our own content and improve the end user's experience year after year. Through that process, we built KP Compass, the next generation textbook.
It's better than a textbook.
Yeah, it's very direct. It gives you the information straight out. You don't have to read a whole bunch to get the information that's needed for a test or to study your speech and everything.
KP Compass is exactly the kind of virtual environment that our program is moving toward. And students demand a bit more of an interactive environment. I used to say to everybody that came in that students bring one or two things to school each day. They bring a phone or they bring an iPod. And that we don't take advantage of that is exactly where we should be.
As the smartphones evolve, as the iPads evolve, they're going to be able to access it more frequently in class, where I say, okay, go saute this, and I go, well, I don't know how to do that, but they're not going to say it, they're going to go to the phone and probably doesn't understand it.
I'm a big gamer, and I grew up with video games my entire life. Starting with Mario, Pac-Man, SimCity. Those games really affected my childhood. My goal is to bring game theory into education, to make learning more engaging and fun for the students.
Currently, my students use the mastery system because they can keep going over and over and over it. Everyone has different level learners in their classroom. My higher level learners can go through and master it maybe first time, second time, third time. But then my lower level learners, they can keep going back as many times as needed and get the mastery program without me spending valuable classroom time to do that.
Long-term goal is to take KP Compass here with all the elements that we built and open up the platform so that any publisher, group, or individual can build the next generation textbook. I have been blessed to lead my company into the future. I have a talented team of individuals with innovative ideas and a passion for education.
My philosophy is that we're teaching the 21st century learners, and we better find out a way to teach those children because they don't want to look at Charlie Brown teacher anymore. They want to be engaged at all times. They need to do their homework.
I want to leave you with this one last. That's enough about me. So anyway, so this is talking about the next generation platform, and one of the things that we'll be using during this contest is that now we've demoing that in a minute because of the thing we're doing with ACT. So we're talking about social media, and then we get frustrated with this one, and then we try to see. Yeah, sometimes technology can be very frustrating. What we're going to do is we're going to go over these tools, how we're going to use it at the conference to communicate with each other, and make it not a frustrating process. I understand some of you are having problems trying to use Swing when it's not showing up, but it's there, so I'll be able to figure that out. So what I want you to look at with these tools is that everybody has a tool of the trade. We got those tools over here, and what trade is that one there for? Anybody? Ja, one. Carpentry, yeah. This one? Plumbing, yeah. This one here? Crafting, architecture, yeah. Although most of it's done on computers now. And these here. Anybody recognize these things?
Rocket science.
Yeah. What? They said rocket science. I don't think that. So everything, every tool has a place, and now we're adding these internet tools into our repertoire of things. So with social media, we got all these different ones available. These are the big boys. Facebook being the one to build. Flickr, Twitter, LinkedIn, RSS feeds. We're not going to go over that. Blogger. I think that's MySpace and Wikipedia. So I want you to know enough to be dangerous. Okay, so the social media is about expression, it's about connecting, it's about building relationships and not being left behind. So this is a video on social media in plain English.
I'm sure you've heard the buzz. Social media may be the next big thing. What's it all about? This is social media in plain English. Let's take a visit to Scoopville, a town that's famous for ice cream. For over 20 years, Big Ice Cream Company has been making high-quality ice cream with a big factory in town. A few years back, the company did focus groups and found out that they could maximize profits by offering 3 flavors: chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. The residents of the town were content. They never thought it could be different. Then something happened in Scoopville. A new invention came to town. Suddenly, everyone could make their own ice cream for only a few dollars. This changed everything. The Smiths decided to make pineapple ice cream. The Joneses made ice cream with pecans. Soon, every kind of ice cream imaginable was being made by Scoopville's residents at very little cost. Of course, some ice cream was more popular than others, and that was okay. Sylvia's pickle ice cream had a very small but loyal following. That was fine. She only needed enough income to buy ingredients for her next batch. Jarrett's red velvet ice cream became so famous, he created his own store. Over time, people started to think differently about ice cream. It didn't always come from a factory, it also came from friends and neighbors. It became something to share, something to bring people together, something to celebrate. Big Ice Cream Company still made the best vanilla around, and to their surprise, demand even grew. But it was the unique, original, and authentic flavors made by the residents that brought people to Scoopville. When they arrived, however, there seemed to be a problem. There were too many flavors. Visitors felt overwhelmed. They needed ways to find the new, the popular, the flavors that were interesting to them. Franklin had an idea for his ice cream. Outside his house, he erected a board and invited his customers to share their thoughts on his ice cream. They could use words to describe it, stars to rate it, and leave messages for others. People loved it. At a glance, visitors could tell what his ice cream was all about and learn from people like them. Over time, each resident had their own board. Sylvia's board showed that her pickle ice cream didn't please everyone, but was very unique and interesting. Jarrett's board overflowed with positive reviews and ratings. Soon, a few things became clear. First, their ice cream got better because they could learn directly from customers. Second, free customer reviews were more valuable than costly advertising. And third, the boards created a way for customers to find exactly what they wanted. The combination of new technology and new ways to work with customers helped the residents feel like a unique community. So, this is social ice cream. By the people, for the people. It turns out that ice cream and social media have a lot in common. Today, everyone has a chance to make their own flavors, thanks to free tools like blogs, podcasts, and video sharing. Plus, we now have new ways for real people to play a role in providing feedback, organization, and promotion. Whether you're a big, established company, an individual with loyal fans, or simply someone with ideas and opinions, social media means new opportunities to create and communicate with people that care. New tools are arriving in cities and towns around the world. When this change comes to your neighborhood, the choice is yours. What flavors will you make? I'm Leela.
All right, so that's just a really quick explanation of what social media is in a nutshell. It's all about that. It's basically everything we've been saying for the past hour. I feel very repetitive now. So here we are to get connected, and the first thing I showed you was the Twitter. Now, the contest that we're running is we're basically assigning points to the various things we're going to be doing. So did anybody get the instructions or the roll sheet? So basically, Twitter, you tweet, it's one of the points. So because tweeting is easy. You can tweet blast all you want. Try to say something meaningful. Next thing I'm going to show you is Facebook. Facebook, getting onto the Facebook site and posting, messages there and people commenting on those and putting pictures. It's a really great way to share pictures. If you go on there now, you can see pictures from last year of what people shared. Wiki is a really great way to be able to demonstrate and to be able to write about the specific areas. And then we're going to be participating in CTE month as well with ACTE through their knowledge challenge. Okay. Anybody want to watch another amusing video? Yeah. All right. I don't know if you're tired of these or not.
Listen, I've got to have a hobby.
No.
Jen, you can change your settings on FriendFace so you don't have to have that annoying bleep every time you get a message.
Incoming message.
So that's me.
Yeah, I just have to tell you about.
Yeah. Jen, just open a chat window and then we can all talk in it.
How does it go?
You just you press speech button on the left-hand corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you can't tell, I like
What do you like?
If I might interject.
That's hilarious. That was a classic Moss line.
And funny thing is I actually know people who do that.
I love this. It feels so social.
That's taken to the extreme, but okay. So wikis, what are they? I'm not going to show this video because I'm just going to jump right into it. Now I put that URL wrong. Dang it. That's what happens when we rehash old presentations. Well, anyway, the website that you'll be going to, you can do this on iPads and on certain cell phones, or if you have a laptop here, you can sign in. But the wiki site is FENI12 at wikispaces.com. Now, FENI12, Wikispaces is this really awesome wiki server that's free, and since you're in education, it's actually free for you to use. They have like an education arrangement so that you can use it for your class, and they'll give you private access for free, where normal people like me would have to pay for that. So here's the site for FENI12, and as you can see, there's various links on it. Here we have different links to. Somebody added places to eat. Pretty cool. I didn't put that there. So anybody can edit it. And the point of this is that if you're in here and let's say you click on this link here, effective use of social networking education, then this is the description. And if you want to put a comment in here and write a little review, all you need is click on edit. And then come down there and you And then make sure to comment and put your full name in there so that I can count this towards your tally. Now, the reason why I'm encouraging this is because this is a great way for you to interact with the information. So as you're taking master classes, you can write about it. And it's a great way to provide feedback too, because for the most part, you go to a class and then next thing you know, you go and then you're gone, and then that's it. That's the end of the world. But then if you put it in here, then other people can read about your experiences, and then they can also share that as well. So if you go to like over here to the Saturday afternoon classes, which is tomorrow, and here's all the different classes that are available. And if you want to click on one of them, right now those pages are empty, so you click on edit, and then you'll be creating something about that page. So Wiki is very easy. Just go to the site and you click on edit and you edit it. You don't. Right now I have it set up so that anybody can edit it. Obviously that's really dangerous in a school setting. So you can set up private access where only people you allow, and anybody who makes the edits, it'll be logged. So if somebody messes something up or vandalizes the site, you'll know exactly who did it, when they did it, and you can hit a really awesome button which is called revert. So you can go backwards in time to before they made that happen. Which most people who are using wikis now, they realize that there's no point in that because you can always go back. So nobody does anything harmful to wiki sites anymore because it's tracked, it's logged, and there's a very large level of accountability. Who here uses wikis in their school right now? So only a couple. Okay. So it's a very useful tool. It's been around for a long time, and it's a great way to build classes. And for the purpose of FENI here, we're using it to share our experiences on this site. So you could, if you want to talk about the exhibitor showcase, you click on edit, then you could do that. If you want to learn about the content, so here's the information in digital form. And best part is the entire schedule is right here. So if you save it in a bookmark, you can have the whole schedule right here in digital format as well, rather than carrying the paper around. So that's the wiki site. Any questions on wikis and how to use this at the conference? Now, in schools, there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of websites devoted to using wikis in education. One great example is that you can use it as a class collaborative project. So you set up a class, and then your students would participate, and then they would go in and edit the information, and then start to build that document. Another great way to do cross-collaboration. So if you want to collaborate with, like, let's say your history teacher or your language arts teacher to do something with culinary arts and language arts. So the language arts teacher can do some research, and the culinary arts students can put their inputs about the recipes, and then they go back and forth and basically design a cultural event or something like that. So those are some of the creative uses that you can use wiki sites for in the classroom. The learning curve isn't very steep. It's very simple. You just click on edit, type it in, and then the only other thing is to create an account, which requires an email, name, email, and password. And then after that, you grant access. So you can say, somebody will request access to it, and you say accept or deny, and then they're in the system. This is Wiki Spaces. It's one of many free ones. I like this one because they use a lot better, more advanced tools, but there's a bunch of other ones out there that do exactly the same thing. Okay, so that's Wiki. Any questions? All right, moving on. What's next? All right, Facebook. Earlier I asked about Facebook usage, and there were only a few of you. So I understand that for the majority, we're still resisting Facebook. Can I ask why? And will anybody want to share?
There's a fine line between showing my professional face to students and colleagues, and then my personal life. And it's hard to kind of separate those with Facebook. So I tend to neglect doing that just because I don't want people to know about me and my little pet dog.
But then again, maybe you'll create a whole new connection. So yeah, that's a very valid concern. That's a very big concern among many people who are looking at the technology. I saw another hand back there.
Well, I just don't see the value for me. I mean, I joke that I don't do social networking because I'm antisocial. But I think it's more antisocial to be on a social network.
Yeah, very true. And looking at me, you think about how I'm so connected. I resisted Facebook too. I didn't join until 2008. So I'm I guess I would say like I'm definitely not. I wasn't an early adopter of that because I didn't see the value in it too because I had those conceptions as well. Yes.
I mean, I understand that concern, and I don't allow students, I don't friend students. However, we have what we call the culinary gastronauts, and it's basically a group, and we post to that when we're having a function, or let's say I'm doing something and say, hey, I'm going to be here, but it's a way for the students to get connected. They know of that, and so they look at it and they say, hey, Chef Dave is doing this in a local food festival. They might show up and they might interact with it, so it's kind of utilized in that way, not necessarily in the classroom, but a way for them to get connected in the food landscape that's not, finding out if I'm posting something on Facebook. So you can do it in ways that are not your personal. You can create a group that then students can like and friend and then post on it, just like businesses.
Our students at our school, we have a culinary club, and we have, they're very in tune with all this stuff.
Right. But that's a way
The club president created a Facebook page and the whole thing, and so it tells all the new students like us on Facebook. And I can see the value, just not particularly for me.
Just take the plunge.
Like for me, that happened as well. I was at the beginning of the year, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do a website and all that. And my students were like, why? We're not gonna get on it. So we created a Facebook that's not my personal one. It's like, the school Facebook for our class. And if, like he says, to post anything if there's an event, or like now I'm gonna be gone for 3 days. It's like they need to get things ready on Tuesday before I come back. So that way I can Facebook, and I don't have to send a message to the secretary of the school, to a colleague, can you change my lesson plans? I'll just post it.
Yeah. I mean, I go out to eat and I take a picture, and I post it to that, and then they're like asking me about the dish. How was it? What did it taste like? It's getting them passionate about, because that's the thing I find that most students are lacking, is just going out there and getting passionate about cooking. So if they see me kind of doing something like that, then they'll go out to the restaurant. There's a new trendy restaurant in Boston. Ever since I posted that, there's been at least 24 kids that have gone there, come back, and then talking about the menu, which probably wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah, and the key to Facebook is that it's not just a fad. It's here, and I'm going to be a little harsh about this. If you're not jumping on board, you're doing your students a disservice, because that's their world of communication. Just like Twitter, you make of it what you will. You don't have to post pictures of your dogs in your Facebook page. You could build a professional profile on your Facebook page. And it's about interacting, it's about communicating, it's about being engaged with your students. Because if you're on Facebook, they're like, oh, cool. My teacher's on Facebook too, and then you guys can have a dialogue back and forth. You can do your messages, people will post pictures. It's a great way to interact and create that environment. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to break the boundaries of the classroom. Because education isn't just between 9:15 and 10:45. It's not about that. It's about being engaged, working with the students. And Facebook, like you see here, it covers 91% of all internet traffic. Kids are using it. Everybody's using it.
There's one thing as an educator and as a business owner that I will say that I do not like about the Twittering and all this other stuff. People cannot spell.
Yeah.
And they're using emails and all these other things to be first contact, and if you can't spell, it lowers the respect of others until we're gone.
Yeah.
And all of these younger people who don't use vowels and capitals and, and now they're all writing
in leet speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have students that don't even know where the library is. We had to do an extra credit so that they actually knew that there was a phenomenal culinary library on the second floor with a huge array of resources. But again, all this immediate information at their fingertips, I still have students that don't know how to go look for stuff they don't know. They just go, I don't know how to do it. Well, if you're
it's a transitional period, and I'm just saying that this is the world that we're in today, and I can't say that there's no way to resist it. No. There's no way to resist it.
I just have a question. Anybody have problems with their administration with this stuff? My school
No.
will flip out. While
Yeah, that's a very big thing.
Especially for high school.
Yeah, yeah.
And it will change. It will change. It'll have to change.
For high school, they use it against you.
People like me, people like Ray McNulty, people out there who are proponents of this next generation, we're going to make those administrators change their minds. The ones that have are showing marked improvements in results. And there's more data to support that. So yeah, that's the biggest resistor right now, and we're going to make that change. So let's start with you. You
But
make
some
it a
of the
point.
resistance is because they're using it. They are Facebooking and texting, and I will take their phones away. They are allowed to use phones for calculators, research, and oven timers. But if they're texting, I'm like, oh, guess what? That's mine. Until tomorrow.
Yeah.
You lose it for 24 hours.
Well, I'm sorry to say that.
But I also found that I had them started taking videos of my demos. They then had to send it back to me. So I got catalogs of the videos, and they had to comment on it. So
It's a control. Yeah.
you have to control it, and when they control it, they like it. But if
Yeah.
it's obviously misused in a way of like texting, then I make it known. But if you allow them to use it in a way that's positive, I found that it's been
And
useful.
you're having trouble with, because see, we've got licensing that they can't video us as instructors demoing.
No,
That's a corporate thing. So, but I like that as a.
Did I go off? I am off. And I am back on. So yeah, I mean, it's a hot topic, and people are really passionate about it. I'm passionate about it. I'm of the mindset of, let it go and teach students to be responsible with their tools. Because if we're not teaching them responsibility and we're just putting up barriers, then they're just going to go out and break the rules outside of your barrier. So we teach responsibility of using the tools effectively, so they're not using it for other purposes to videotape and do all this stuff, other things. Yes?
The problem that I find myself stuck in the most teaching high school is administration. We're dictated by what the government says that we can't do.
And the thing is that will change. And I'm saying that change has to start with you. You have to make it a point and make it important enough to get a group of teachers say, this is why. And then here's another school that's had success. And this is why you need to make a change. I wish I would have wrote that article. But I have an article with a school district in Texas that I'm currently in the works of writing. But basically, they started out with a few schools, and then they got the administration behind, and then now the entire school district is in the network, and the students are engaged, they're happy, they're doing things, and yeah, it works. Sure, there's a few problems, but actually the funny thing is they won't use it problematically because it's all recorded into their profile. So. I want to move on because I don't want to belabor this point because we can't. I mean, I could do a whole hour on Facebook and integrating that in the classroom. So for the purpose of this conference, actually, I could just click on. Oh yeah, you can go to the wiki site. Just click on the link. That would have been a lot easier. So here's the Facebook page. So as you can see, if you have a Facebook account, it's really easy. Just create one. You don't even have to put anything in it. Just create one, and then you don't even have to put any personal information into it. And then what you do is you find the Facebook site, FENI Summit. You like it, which in this case I already liked it, so it says unlike, and then you just write something. On your computer, on your cell phones, on your iPads. I mean, all these devices you're already connected and using. And then it's just simple. Just post something, Like here I posted the FENI starts tomorrow, or FENI, and then 4 people liked it, so so people are interacting with that post. And then we had 5 comments of people saying they're bringing their iPad, they can't make it, they're sad, and things like that. So so it's I would recommend that during this conference just experiment with it. If you don't like it, just close your account. There's no harm. You don't have to give up anything. And there's pictures from last year. There's me. Hey, look at that. And so on and so forth. So it creates that ongoing dialogue. So according to this contest, posting a message will get you points, and putting photos up will also get you points too. So I was just using that point incentive to engage you within the Facebook arena. Dangling the carrot. All right. So moving on to the next one. Okay, so talking about CTE month. ACT, anybody here members of the of ACTE? No? You know what ACTE is? The Association for Career Technical Educators, which is kind of like the environment that you're in. Although it's at the secondary level, although it does also cover post-secondary quite a bit as well. But basically, the association is this Association for Career Technical Educators, and they put together a knowledge challenge with us using our knowledge mastery system. And for CTE month. CTE month is February, so basically CTE month is when they're making a big push with legislation and things like that. So it's because of ACT that we have Perkins and we have all these different policies in place because there are the advocates out there who are making these things happen. So if you're not a member, I would recommend you taking a look at what they do. But actually, this is a great chance for you to learn, because if you log into kpacte.com with your cell phones, with your iPad, with your devices, and create an account using Twitter, Facebook, or just clicking on create account, then you'll be able to take their 5 learning modules, which gives you a brief snippet about what they do. Let me just show you. So this is, after you log in, this is what you see. And here's the CTE month, and here's the different learning modules. So you learn about ACTE, about CTE, about programs and services, policy and advocacy, career readiness, and workforce development. So if you want to learn about CTE, let me click on it. Actually, I already taken the test on it, but you go through the information. Then this teaches you about the association and what career technical education is all about. And culinary arts is a part of that. And then at the end, so basically I'm giving 5 points for creating an account. So once you create an account system, then you have that. Then if you go in and you take a test, so this is the testing system. I miss having my mic. So you take the test and it gives you feedback as to what you know. And this test is a experimental new technology that we developed called the Automatic Remediation Mastery System, which gives you feedback as to how well you know the information. In this case, it'll be pretty poor. Okay, so, and this is my knowledge level. So if you take the test and continue to take the test, eventually you'll level up from novice to apprentice, scholar, and scholar. So if you make it to scholar, then you'll, which in many cases you can make it within 3 tries, or sometimes maybe 1 try if you actually study the information, then that automatically grants you 10 points. So this is some way for you to learn about career technical education. This lets you learn about the organization, which is a really, really great organization. Whether you're a member or not, it's something that you should keep tabs on. And they're doing this during the month because not only when you participate, you'll have the chance to win here, but at the end of the month, there's a leaderboard, which I'll show you. So you can see here, since we just got started, we only have currently 8 participants. So after you look at the leaderboard, this person has 1,029 knowledge points. Taking the test 3 or 4 times will grant you that 1,000. The top few will receive prizes. So although the prizes, since you're not members, probably won't matter to you. But I would encourage you to go in and try that and do that, because it gives you a chance to not only learn about CTE, but also kind of experience our learning platform as we envisioned it with students. So we designed it to work on mobile technology, so you can use your cell phone without downloading an app. You can use your iPad, your Android phone. You can even use laptops, which is what I'm on right now. So it's a completely cross-platform platform, if that's such a word. Okay, any questions on CTE month and participating in that? And we go back, and we see that we have that. We can test ourselves again, so on and so forth. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to cover is, in the last few minutes, yeah, we're almost done here. We're actually done. I'm eliminating blogs. Okay, so who here is part of LinkedIn? Okay, good. Oh, I see more hands than previous now. So LinkedIn is a professional network. It's basically like Facebook, but for professionals. So it's not applicable to your class or your students, but the reason I bring this up is for you to network among each other and build networks on a professional level. But for your students, it's for them to create a professional profile. So I would encourage you to have your students create a LinkedIn profile, so that they would put their education history and whatnot, and they can grow that LinkedIn profile. Because Facebook is great, everyone uses it, 91% of all internet traffic is through that, because everyone uses it on a daily basis and it's relevant. But LinkedIn is the professional profile that they would create. There are social tools in there, but in my opinion, you're forcing another tool down their throat, and if they're already using Facebook, let them continue to use Facebook, because LinkedIn is for the professional. And I was going to show you the link, my LinkedIn profile, but unfortunately I can't remember my password. I have it saved on my computer. That's the problem. I have too many different passwords. Okay. Foursquare. Foursquare is another social networking tool that's gaining ground. Its uses in education are currently they're currently exploring that, but right now it's just a way for people to check into businesses, which you can also use for people to check into events or club meetings or things like that. So Foursquare is very open-ended. So all you need to do is log into Foursquare with your mobile device, and you create an event. And every time somebody goes to it, they can check in and then check into that event over and over and over again. Because it's location-based, it's not built on any geographical location. So you can create an event. You can create multiple events within one area, and when you click on the I thought that was my alarm. and it's a really good way for people to check into events and things like that. Okay, Google+. Google launched Google+ this past summer, and it's their way to compete against Facebook. Right now, there's people who are using it, but they're slowly gaining ground. As far as a real applicable use in education, they're doing things slightly differently than Facebook by creating circles of people, so that when you're posting, you post to specific circles. But Facebook is doing that because you can create private groups and things like that. So they're all doing the same thing. So this is just the other competitor. So if you don't like Facebook, try Google. Although, again, I like to reiterate, 91% Facebook, they're the 1,000-pound gorilla. What can we do? So if we want to get students on Google+, that's another challenge. So, wait, there was one other tool that I didn't cover, did I? Facebook, Wiki, Twitter. Oh, I did. I covered all four. Just making sure. In summary, the social network is out there. It's constantly evolving. There's people who are scared of it. There's people who are resisting it. But the fact of the matter is, this is the world that the students live in. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to merge the world of classroom and the real world together. Because that separation is starting to dissolve. And I know it's scary. And I know that people don't want that to happen. But in order to make education relevant for our students, those barriers will need to come down. Through technology, we're doing that creatively, and there's ways to do it effectively. Because it's not the way that it was in the 1950s anymore. It's not the way that education was even like 20 years ago. This is the here and now, and we have to push forward into the future. This is the way that I feel about it. This is the way that many students feel about it, and it's hard, and I know, because it's something that we need to really work hard towards moving forward, because otherwise we're just going to be left behind. So I hope that this 2-hour workshop has been entertaining. I know we put lots of videos in there, but also informative. I know that I just touched on these very basic tools at the conference. I have an evaluation form, so please be brutally honest and tell me how well or how awful I did. Because being a computer programmer, I never expected to be in front of educators speaking about these things. But it's because I have a passion, and I just wanted to get that out. And I got over my fears. So help me improve by giving me feedback. Don't be confrontational on stage. Well, I'm sorry, I kind of have to be, and all that. And yes, I say a lot too. Because even though I did try Toastmasters, if anybody knows Toastmasters. Let's see here. I have this really cool conclusion video. I'll just leave you with. Called Teach a Man to Fish.
I want to leave you with this one last thought. Give a man a fish, and he will eat for a day and come back begging for more. Show a man how to fish, and he'll realize how difficult it is, and he'll come back begging for more. Teach a man to master fishing, and he will feed the community and spread his knowledge to others. Our kids are starving for knowledge to put into practice. KP, knowledge in practice. I want to leave you with this one last thought.
Yeah, turn off repeat on the video player. Remember that. So thank you very much. I hope you guys had a wonderful time, and please hit me up for questions if you need any help with the technology. During the contest, I'm going to be keeping tabs with everybody and communicating to people through the internet sphere. And let's get engaged and use this tool during this conference and have fun. And let's just try it. It doesn't hurt, and it's just something that can add to the experience. I hope that these skills that you'll be able to apply and take to your classroom and try. So I guess I have other things to say. So thank you very much. And there's a sign-up sheet too, because I recorded this video, and you can watch it, relive this moment again and again and again and again and again. Yes. I'm glad I got you engaged in it.